So runners on the corners for Taylor Craft. An opportunity to do some damage.
I'd be looking for Tobias to go on this pitch too, to get 2 runners in scoring position.
Some defensive changes for the Badgers. Cuffle's gonna go out into right field, and that's gonna be Grace O'Brien at second. 1-0 count to Craft as a team leading 32 RBIs. But you mentioned also at the beginning of the broadcast, she's 24 runs scored as well. I mean, she is accounting for all the offense from Minnesota.
Exactly. That's kind of absurd. She's scoring the most runs, and she's also bringing in the most runs.
Well, she's sitting at a 2-0 count. Fouls one back. And now to play. Easton standing at third. Tobias still at first. We saw Minnesota's 4th stolen base of the season last inning. It was Breezy Burnett. That was her first of the season as well. Slow roller over to second. No tag, but they'll get the out at first. A run will score, and the Gophers are on the board first here in Game 3.
Well, it really wasn't pretty, but you know what? Got the job done. Sometimes that's all you need. You see Taylor Craft just getting the end of that bat on the ball. Tobias slips past O'Brien over there at second base. And Easton's able to score easy.
You said it might not have been the prettiest, but that is something Minnesota can really build off of, some momentum. Just putting the ball in play when you have runners on. You never know what can happen. We also saw that in games 1 and 2. Defense can make an error. It was really windy out yesterday. So it has been a priority for both teams to just put the ball in play, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right, and when you're in that when you have that kind of an offense that Minnesota's kind of experiencing right now, where you start to tighten up a little bit, you force things. But like Coach Ritter said on our chat the other day, she said, if these guys play free, they can do anything. It's when they have no expectations of themselves that they play the best.
A 3-pitch strikeout for Salo. Sits down Valencia, and there's 2 outs. That is a 4th strikeout of the day for Gabby Salo. So the Gophers will look to Sydney Shorts to keep this inning alive. 1-0 lead for Minnesota. First time they have scored in the first 3 innings of this series. A 0-1 count to Schwartz, who struck out back in the first inning. Lays off high. Piper Ritter had said in the first 2 games, one, they didn't attack the pitchers early, which we had said, but when the pressure was on, this team just didn't execute, especially the bottom part of the lineup. But it was Tinley Easton, the number 9 hitter, who started off this inning with a single, came around to score, and really, they executed when the pressure was on.
You never know who your heroes are going to be when you need them, you know, and they've been relying so much on this top half of the order for Tinley Easton to get that going again and supply some kind of energy, some kind of spark to this offense.
And this is the young bottom half of the lineup for Minnesota. The first 3 hitters are all seniors. But the rest, freshmen, sophomores, and a few juniors. And Schwartz is going to draw the walk, and there's 2 aboard with 2 outs.
That was really good discipline by Schwartz. That pitch was out of the zone, but I can see that, you know, when you're trying too hard, you get a little antsy and you swing at pitches that maybe aren't that great. She had a great at-bat. Kept her discipline.
Here's Snippets. Snippets struck out to start the 2nd inning. But now Salo struggling a bit to find the strike zone. 5 straight balls. Able to deliver the strike, 1-1.
Something Coach Haley was talking about with their pitchers. They're both older pitchers, and she wants them to learn how to grind, and that's kind of what Salo is doing right now. They're going to score runs on you. They're going to get hits off of you, but you have to grind through it. So she threw 5 straight balls and then came back, and now she's looking a little, you know, tighter right now. See this changeup coming in there. That's what she was missing that last at-bat.
She is keeping these Gophers off balance. Back out in front, 1-2. Swing, did she go? Saying she didn't.
Salo's been living up there, up high. You see Snippets hold that bat just enough. Emmy Wells doing a good job behind the plate. Got to have a lot of confidence in a catcher, and you see she's such a good catcher back there. She's very quiet. Pitcher has confidence that nothing's going to get past her, and she has a great arm, but she works so well with Salo.
Here's the 3-2. Couldn't frame the outside pitch enough, and the walk loads the bases.
Well, it's a tough call right there. It's on the outside half. You see Wells really trying to help that umpire off, or help that umpire out, but that wasn't close enough.
Back-to-back walks issued by Salo. The Gophers, bases loaded with 2 outs for Breezy Burnett. And for Minnesota, one of the struggles for them has been allowing other teams to score with 2 outs. Now they'll look to do that here. Burnett was patient in her first at-bat. Now if you're a coach, what are you telling your hitter if this pitcher just issued back-to-back walks, you got bases loaded? Are you telling them to be patient? Are you telling them to be aggressive?
It depends on the hitter, and I can say that, you know, from sitting from over here. But if Breezy Burnett is seeing the ball well, I'm telling her to jump on something good. Put the ball in play. Let's stay aggressive. That's how we got a run already on the board. But you have to have the discipline, so you have to have the right hitter that can handle that. You don't want to swing at anything that's not close.
Both coaches talked a lot about controlling your strike zone. Attacking your pitches. And Burnett will attack this pitch and send it over the right field wall. A grand slam off the bat of Breezy Burnett puts Minnesota up big. Fired up for just her 2nd home run of the season, and the Gophers are up 5-0.
Wow. Burnett does a fantastic job of keeping her bat on the barrel, her barrel on that ball on the outside half. She knew that was gone as soon as she stepped out of that box. Look at her celebrating for her team. Sometimes when you're struggling on offense or you're struggling for wins, you just need something to break that dam open. And Breezy Burnett may have just done that.
Giving her team and herself a lot to celebrate. Here at the top of the third inning. Here's Cosgrove. She'll look at a first pitch strike. But with 2 outs, Salo issuing those back-to-back walks that really come back to hurt you now.
You know, Wisconsin has, they've got 2 starters, so they do have another pitcher. They've got Molly Jacobson, who also has thrown quite a few innings for them too. So I would expect her to start getting over in that in that bullpen if she's not already over there, because they're going to have to buddy up here, I think, to get this win.
It's the only 2 pitchers Wisconsin has utilized in this series. Jacobson got the start in game 1, Salo the start in game 2. It's actually going to be Jordan Felchey warming up in the bullpen for Wisconsin. On the 1-2 count, lifts this one into the gap. Well, the Gophers pass the bat, and Cosgraves got a single.
Boy, hitting is so contagious. And there's so much, again, we talked about Wisconsin's momentum coming into this game. Look at the momentum that Minnesota has right now. Now, that wasn't even a beautiful, like, hard swing. She just had enough on it to get it through that infield and find a spot in the outfield.
You see Burnett fired up as Cosgraves was able to follow up her grand slam with a single. A pitching change in the circle for the Badgers. The Badgers will head to their bullpen as we see the arm of Shelby Jacobson for the first time. 2-0 record, 3.94 ERA. And within the first 2 games, Wisconsin only utilized 2 pitchers. What kind of advantage do they have now? The Gophers haven't seen the arm of Jacobson so far.
Yeah, they haven't seen Jacobson, but she has thrown for Wisconsin. She'll rely mostly on her rise, drop, her curve, and her change. She throws a little bit of everything. She's a very spinny pitcher, so there's a lot of movement on her balls. She needs to make sure she limits the walks.
Junior from Chicago. Took on a huge role last season. Had the 2nd most innings on the team with 100 in her 29 appearances and 13 starts. Coming in relief of Salo, who gave up that grand slam to Breezy Burnett to star the dugout. Gave Minnesota the 5-0 lead. It's their largest lead of the series so far. Swing and a miss to Maggie Werner. She came in as a pinch hitter back in the 2nd inning and stayed in the game, playing second base. Jacobson ahead of the count, 0-2. Two outs, so 2 count. Gets the chase. Well, Jacobson comes in and gets the out to end the inning, but it was the big bat of Breezy Burnett firing her team up with the grand slam. Minnesota up 5-0. The windy afternoon in Madison. Breezy Burnett hitting the grand slam at the top of the 3rd inning. And the Gophers out in front 5-0. But the Badgers, a nice start here in the bottom half of the inning. Leadoff single by Ellie Hubbard. Just the 2nd hit of the afternoon for Wisconsin.
It's a good way to answer back. You got to start somewhere, right? Ellie Hubbard just jumps on the first pitch, puts it in play, finds herself on. I love that Coach Healy really never gets rattled. She's always smiling.
Even trailing, she knows her team's got a lot of time to get back into this game. As we see Emma King pinch running at first base. Gonna bring up the number 9 hitter, Danny Lucy. First pitch swinging. They're not gonna get the out at first and second, and Lucy's gonna beat it out at first. Was Easton was waiting for Werner to get there at second base.
How smart was that substitution? Put in your speed, get her to second. There's players that are out of position right now on defense for Minnesota, so the timing might be a little off. Easton has nobody at second. She's ready to throw and get that lead runner, but nobody's there.
So back to the top of the lineup for Wisconsin, but like you said, smart use of a pinch runner here, the speed of King. I mean, Easton couldn't make that throw because she didn't have a teammate there to catch it. So instead of getting the lead out, Wisconsin's still working with no outs here in the bottom of the third and 2 aboard. So we see trying to get the sacrifice bunt down. This is a Wisconsin team that ranks first in the Big Ten in sacrifice bunts, 14th in the country. They utilize the small ball, moving runners.
Clark wasn't able to get that down on those first 2 strikes, so now she's in a situation where she thinks she has to think about trying to put the ball down and play, getting it down on the ground and moving these runners. She wasn't able to with the sacrifice that time.
Hard hit up the middle. The run, safe at home. Badgers are on the board. Thanks to the hit from Olivia Bark.
That's what this Wisconsin team's been doing. They've been getting production all the way down the lineup. Bark may not have gotten her sacrifice bunts down the first 2 strikes, but she just drives that ball right through the middle. And you see Emma King just turn it. If you're at second base and the ball is to the outfield, you're running like you're scoring, period. Wait for your coach to stop you if she has to, but you're thinking 2 to 4, and Emma King does just that.
Kudos to the pitch runner, King. Coming in, doing her job. This is the first time Hasek has faced adversity as the bunt popped up a foul. Relief from Slosher. But through the first 2 innings, Presley Hasek was lights out in the circle for Minnesota. Let's see how she works through this here in the third. Again, they'll go back to the bunt and get the out at first. With Schwartz fielding her position. 1 away.
Up the bat for the Badgers, Hillary Blomberg.
Slosher doing her job, advancing the runners, so 2 in scoring position for Hillary Blomberg. The hottest bat for Wisconsin in this series. But a shallow pop-up over to first. 2 quick outs for this Minnesota defense.
Boy, Presley Hasek puts that pitch in a perfect spot. I mean, Blomberg was going to be aggressive. These hitters are. They're ready to get something done. She just put that right on her hands.
So 2 away for Kendra Lewis. Lays off, 1-0. Lewis, Big Ten Freshman of the Week, flew out to right field in her first at-bat. Looking to keep the scoring going for the Badgers here in the bottom of the third. Another ground ball up the middle will keep the scoring coming. The throw is high, but they get her at home. So 1 run comes across for the Badgers, but that is how the inning will end. As we take a look at this tag at home one more time. Badgers start to cut into this deficit, still trail by 3.